I feel good, stay the fuck out my face. How y'all feeling? I hope everybody feeling good for no reason at all. Already ain't vibrating, emanating, being the highest illustration and the highest demonstration of your best self. You hear me? Being the best version of you. You hear me? Um, don't read me wrong by what you see, but pay attention to what you hear. You hear me? I'm just an immortal soul with timeless consciousness living in this vehicle of flesh. You know, um, I hope everybody get there. You hear me? Um, and I say that to say I ain't been perfect while in this flesh. But one thing I learned from life while in this flesh about myself by way of others is if you focus on my flaws, you'll miss my greatness. See, and many people probably did the same thing with some of y'all, you hear me? Um, but for the rest, as I said, everybody ain't there yet, but I hope we make it, you hear me? Um, Having a head start don't always mean that's who win the race, you hear me? And then there's also a saying, it's not about who laugh first. It's about who get to laugh last. You hear me? Um, I say that to say it's important that we understand. It's important that we comprehend spiritual warfare and our role in it. And I share that because I once lived by by a quote. My quote, my mercy is merciless. And at times, I still live by that. I still do at times when needed. When it comes to protecting my life. Meaning my energy, because my energy is my life. Due to the fact that I'm no longer, divested in the streets. It's more. I don't too much worry about protecting my physical life unless something, unless it come to me directly or to my residence. But other than that, it's just about protecting my energy. Some of y'all may need to pay attention to that. You might want to get your pen and the pad because I got a lot of downloads. You hear me? My third, I've been on fleet, but I share that to say this: my ancestors, spirit guides, and the ascended masters and cosmic and divine beings that's assigned to my life, they don't feel the same, when it come to me. You hear me? But we gonna learn. But we gonna learn today. You heard? When you know how to speak, when you know how to speak to the things that bring spiritual warfare in our life, we begin to comprehend that the reflection, the reflection, you see, don't feel like the projection, especially for those of us who have learned how to pull our energy back from the people, places, and things that don't deserve it. You hear me? And I say that because I ain't here to judge nobody. I'm here to I'm here to assist us to judge ourselves. You hear me? And do something about what we see, because we're in judgment there already, whether we know it or not. You hear me? If we in judgment there already, and that's why I said that what you do unto others will be done unto you. Now, you ever seen somebody going through something and don't wonder and don't know why they going through what they going through? Because they ain't paid attention to how they don't treated the people who matter most in their life. But then somebody come in their life who matter most to them, and then that person who matter most to them take them through all the hell that they took the people that they was closest to in their life. See, What you do unto others will be done unto you. See, so we in judgment day we in judgment day already. We see it all the time, you know. So I shared that to say this: don't wait till you leave here to be judged. You know, judge yourself and do better with what you see according to whatever time that you may have left. You hear me? Cause we in judgment day already. Now I don't know I don't know who that's to or who that's for. You hear me? And in some cases it's for all of us. You know, I'm not excluded. But I share that to say this: those who really rock with you, whether you up or whether you down. You hear me? And those who you rock with, we supposed to rock with them, whether they up or whether they down. You know, however it may need to fit. But I said that to say this: if you solid, you know that already. You know, and if you solid, you live by that already. Otherwise, you're gonna have to learn how to love people from a distance. You hear me? You're gonna have to learn how to love people from a distance. You know, and cut off them low vibratory soul ties. You hear me? I'm gonna let the shift and do something else I ain't did in a minute. You heard? Let me shuffle them up and see what the spirit. Okay, real quick. Can y'all see that? Let me show you the confirmation. Can y'all see that? Choose yourself today. You see, and that's what I'm talking about, because we're in judgment day already. Judgment day already. You know, let me get the book. Choose yourself today. Do not deny your importance. I want y'all to make sure y'all get a good look at it. Choose yourself today. Do not deny your importance. It's coming from the inner child oracle. Let's see what it's talking about. And that's the number 8, you know. Somebody may be a number life path. Somebody may be born on the 8th day of the month. Somebody may be born in the 8th month. You hear me? You know, but 8 is an abundance number. 8 is an abundance number. But let's see what the book want to say before I go on. But I love the confirmation. Thank you, ancestors, spirit guides. You hear me? Thank you. Cause somebody gonna need to hear this. If it's for you, you'll know. But if it don't resonate, don't force it to make it fit. Be true to who you are. Safety, identity, and connection are all about beautiful aspects of life that we crave to know and have. Sometimes, in our search for these treasures, we can lose touch with ourselves along the way. See, this confirmation, because I was just talking about this in the previous video. If for those of y'all ain't checked it out, go check it out. Sometimes in our search for these treasures, we can lose touch with ourselves along the way. The fear of not being a part of a collective or of not finding the connections we need to feel safe can lead us to betray who we really are. I just spoke to this. You know, sometimes we put people, places, and things above ourselves and lose ourselves in accord, or disconnect from ourselves in accord to the people, places, and things that we don't put before ourselves. And I just told us it's time to put you first. You hear me? See what I did? We may choose to mold ourselves to existing patterns. See what I've been speaking to? When we came here, what was already here was here when we came here, and what we came here into tried to mold us into what was already here before we came here. Thoughts, concepts, ideas, belief systems. We may choose to mold ourselves to existing patterns and expectations of the people around us, and in doing so, miss out on the unfolding of our own true selves. If you have pulled this card, then there may be an aspect of yourself or your inner child that has been betrayed in order to be accepted by someone or something. Inner work exercise. Reflect on any activities, actions, people, places, or items that you might have once loved, but have since given up for someone or something or something else. Pardon me. I'm gonna reread it so it flows smooth. Reflect on any activities, actions, people, places, or items that you might have once loved but have since given up for someone or something else. What have you put? What have you put in front of what you love most? What talents do you have that you have put a person, a place, or a thing in front of to the point that you don't do it no more? What you used to love to do that you have put a person, place, or a thing in front of it that you love to do? You know, I used to love to do a lot. I used to love to do a lot of things that I don't do no more. You hear me? Anybody got that gas? Who got that gas? I'm just kidding. I don't even burn no more. You hear me? And that's going to be a surprise to some people that know me that come by there and hear it. I don't even burn no more though. You hear me? And I ain't had a drink in like 4 years. You heard? Maybe 5. But once you have found this lost love thing, take steps today, not tomorrow, today, to bring it back into your life. If you have many lost things, try to focus on one at a time. See, because we can only take one step at a time when we walking. You hear me? You can only breathe one breath at a time. You hear me? When you breathing. Allow yourself to come back home. Allow yourself to come back home to who you are. And this can be an overwhelming process. And the best way to do it is with gentle kindness. You hear me? For all of y'all who did get your pen and pad, it's a journaling prompt. Ask yourself or your inner child if you have been untrue to yourself in any way. If you meditate, you might want to write it down. But if you meditate, this is a question prior to meditation. Ask yourself or your inner child, however you relate to you, if you have been untrue to yourself in some way. If so, how can you use your voice? See how I use my voice? See, I told y'all in the previous video, I use my pain and my pleasure like a paintbrush, or I wouldn't be no assistance to y'all. You hear me? This is how I tell my life story, through music, because I'm an artist, so I tell my life story through many ways. You hear me? But I ain't used to being so raw in the form that I am now, in the presence of people that I don't know, usually to the people close in my life. You see, but I had to learn how to love people from a distance, as I spoke to earlier. See, this ain't nothing but confirmation, right in the face. You know, no strings attached. The magic, I am. You hear me? If so, how can you use your voice to be true to who you are today? Because y'all don't heard me say, you know, you're going to have to be able to speak to it. You're going to have to be able to speak to it. That shadow want to be brought up too. You hear me? That shadow want to be brought up too, you know. And if you and anybody who want to step into light got to go through the darkness. You hear me? You gotta raise your son up. you gotta raise your son up. You hear me? Or get burnt by it, you know, or get burnt by somebody who got their son up when you run into them. you hear me? Yeah. See this. See, I love this here. This confirmation. Those who really rock with you, rock with you, whether you up or down. You see, and whether they up or down. You know, those who solid know this. You know, be true to who you are, and even more confirmation to it is, you know, the other downloads that I had to go with it. See, as you challenge yourself to change, and as you challenge yourself for change, and as you challenge yourself in change, don't forget to forgive the people who put you in place so change can happen. You hear me? And don't forget to forgive yourself, most importantly. See? Right back to be true to yourself. Right back to be true to who you are. You hear me? Don't forget to forgive yourself, most importantly. You know? And don't allow no one to rely on your forgiveness to stay the same in your life. Don't allow no one to rely on your forgiveness. Don't rely on no one to rely on you forgiving them so they can stay the same in your life. You know, check it the first time, correct it the first time, whatever it may be. Check it right then. If it ain't right to you, and we be knowing when things ain't right to us, man. We be steady getting people passing, But like I said, this ain't no time to be giving no easy passes, cause we ain't no toll booths. You hear me? We true and living beings, and it's time for us to rise up in the fullness of that. You see, cause I'm my higher self every day, and the space that I'm in with me right now, you know, her, him, and me, myself, and I. For those that ain't catch it, you hear me? I'm in my higher self every day. I am the living embodiment of my higher self. So I said that to say this. Remember, forgiving don't mean you have to continue to keep people in your life. As I said earlier, we're gonna have to learn how to love people from a distance, because the longer people been in your life, the harder it may be to cut them off is necessary, or for them to cut you. However, but the longer people in your life, the greater the attachment. How many relationships we see like that? You know, it's attachments all over the world in the form of relationships, different kind of relationships. You know, where people stand in negative situations by being used to the attachment, by being used to what they used to. You hear me? And most things we're used to, not normal, but they appear to be, because that's what we don't got used to. You hear me? I don't know who this for. Yeah, that's what was put on my heart, and I'm glad I was led to pull a card for the confirmation. You hear me? Choose yourself today. You heard? And like I said, if it don't resonate, don't force it to fit. You hear me? Don't force it to fit. You know? And just to add on a little bit before I close out, it's gonna be those we hear the term ops all the time. Op this, op that. But if you ain't gang banging or nothing like that, your ops not people that you don't know. Your ops people that you know. Your neighbor, your cousins, your auntie, your kids in some cases, your mom and daddy in other cases, your grandparents, your cousins, you know, you. Your ops, our ops, be people that we know. Cause we ain't gang banging. So our ops be people that we know. It be right. It be right in the house, or around the house, or in the neighborhood, or around the neighborhood. It don't be far. It be people we know. You see? So recognize the people who don't want to see you win. Learn to recognize the people who don't want to see you win, because they're not far. You hear me? You know, in many cases they closer than we wanna allow them to be. And in many cases, you know, if we could have chose who was gonna be our family members before we came here, you see, we would have did that before we came here, and we did. But we forgot once we got here. That's why I was sent as a reminder. You hear me? See, I'm just an immortal soul with timeless consciousness, living in this vehicle of flesh. You hear me? Y'all gonna get it if you really want to learn. You heard? I said that to say this, and to say it again. Recognize the people who don't want to see you win. How do you recognize it? Don't look to recognize it with your eyes, but sometimes you can. Don't look to recognize it with your ears, but sometimes you can hear it. If you know how to hear, you can feel it. You can feel it. It just made me think of a verse by Nas, you know, where he say, you can feel it in your heart when your enemy near. But in order to feel in your heart when your enemy near, you gotta be in touch with your heart. He ain't say that part, but you hear me? Yeah. You can feel it in your heart when your enemy near, but you gotta be connected to it. You heard? Why do I go there? Because I had to learn to accept that people don't love you because they love you. In most cases, they love you for your energy, especially depending on if you one of them kind of beings like me. You know, they don't love you because they love you. They love you for your energy and what your energy do in their life, how your energy bless their life, and they'll run it off and give the energy that you give them to other people, or pose as your energy to other people when you're not around. We're gonna talk about it, cause all that shit must end. You hear me? Yeah. I know it's a hard pill to swallow, but if you could digest it, I bet you'll thank me later, cause you'll be better off. You'll find yourself better off, you know. And I say that to say because they can't feed off us they can't feed off us like they used to when we're not operating in our lower self no more, and they still is. Now they gotta find somebody like them. See, for high vibrational people, we have a tendency to have low vibrational people that ain't on this journey with us, or where we at on this journey within ourselves, within themselves. You see, so they feed off of that. You don't know it until you know it. You don't know it until you learn something. You see, and like I say, we got those that either want to see, or we got those that don't want to be shown. And you're going to have to figure out which one are you. You hear me? You're going to have to figure out which one are you. You heard me? And until we do it again, feel good for no reason at all. Stillness, abundance, love, light, health, and wholeness. Stillness, abundance, love, light, health, and wholeness. And stillness and abundance, love and light, health, and wholeness. Just to feed off that number 8. Be true to who you are. Command change over your life. Be positive. And all the situations that you can, that's uncomfortable to you. You hear me? Try to be inspired, you know, or find inspiration. Not only from the good, because in most cases we don't find our inspiration in the good. You see, we don't even pay it no mind. But you could definitely get inspiration out of the bag if you are in place with yourself the way you need to be. You hear me? You know, continue to be motivated. Whatever life throw your way. You hear me? Good, bad, or indifferent. Continue to be motivated. You see? And through what you see, command change over your life when you're seeing something that you don't like to see, or when you don't like what you're seeing. Command change over your life, and it's gonna take more than just command to change. You know, you're gonna have to do something. We're gonna have to make certain actions in some cases. You hear me? To get to the next and the next and the next. You know, affirmation is good. I don't knock it. Prayer is good. I don't knock it. You see, whatever work for you, if it's working for you, I don't knock it. But if you're holding on to something that ain't working for you, you should knock it off. You hear me? you hear me? And Yeah, just like that, man. Be true to who you are. Once again, feel good for no reason at all. And until we do it again, I'm known as Sawu. Be you how you be you. I love y'all, family. Cosmic Conscious Family and Soul Tribe. Peekaboos and passerbys. New subscribers, welcome to the family. You hear me? Yeah. Thanks for the likes, shares, comments, questions. Ask me if you got them. You hear me? Purchases, donations, all that good stuff. All that good stuff, man. And as some of y'all heard me say before, if you keep rocking with me, we're gonna finish this better than we started. You know, it don't cost nothing to hit the like button. And once again, thank you to the new subscribers. You hear me? If you feel, if you have a question, ask it. You know, yeah, I reach back. The same way I'm reaching out now, I reach back. You heard? And till we do it again, be you how you be you. I love y'all. You heard? Peace.